boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D, Better Off Reading Every Day. Today we have a classic for you, and today's book is called Tangren's Tawny, Scrawny, a Lion. And this is a little golden book classic. Once there was a tawny, scrawny, hungry lion who never could get enough to eat. He chased monkeys on Monday, kangaroos on Tuesday, zebras on Wednesday. Bears on Thursday, camels on Friday, and on Saturday, elephants. And since he caught everything he ran after, the lion should have been as fat as butter. But he wasn't at all. The more he ate, the scrawnier and hungrier he grew. The other animals didn't feel one bit safe. They stood at a distance and tried to talk things over with Tawny, Scrawny Lion. It's all your fault for running away, he grumbled. If I didn't have to run for every single bite I get, I'd be fat as butter and sleek as satin. Then I wouldn't have to eat so much and you'd last longer. Just then, a fat little rabbit came hopping through the forest, picking berries. All the big animals looked at him and grinned shyly. Rabbit, they said, "Oh, you lucky rabbit, we appoint you to talk things over with the lion." That made the little rabbit feel very proud. "What shall I talk about?" he asked eagerly. "Anything old," said the big animals. "The important thing is to go right up close." So the fat little rabbit hopped right up to the big hungry lion and counted his ribs. "You look much too scrawny to talk things over," he said. "So how about supper at my house first?" "What's for supper?" asked the lion. The little rabbit said, "Carrot stew." That sounded awful to the lion, but the little rabbit said, "Yes, sir, my 5 fat sisters and my 4 fat brothers are making a delicious big carrot stew right now." "What are we waiting for?" cried the lion, and he hopped away with the little rabbit, thinking of 10 fat rabbits and looking just as jolly as you please. "Well," grinned all the big animals, "that should take care of Tawny, Scrawny for today." Before very long, the lion began to wonder if they would ever get to Rabbit's house. First, the fat little rabbit kept stopping to pick berries and mushrooms and all sorts of good-smelling herbs. And when his basket was full, what did he do but flop down on the river bank? "Wait a bit," he said. "I want to catch a few fish for the stew." That was almost too much for the hungry lion. For a moment he thought he would have to eat that one little rabbit then and there, but he kept saying 5 fat sisters and 4 fat brothers over and over to himself, and at last the 2 were on their way again. "Here we go, here we are," said the rabbit, hopping around a turn with the lion close behind him. Sure enough, there was the rabbit's house with a big pot of carrot stew bubbling over on an open flame. And sure enough, there were 9 more fat, merry little rabbits hopping around. When they saw the fish, they popped them into the stew and along with the mushrooms and herbs. The stew began to smell very good indeed. And when they saw the tawny, scrawny lion, they gave him a big bowl of hot stew. And then they hopped about so busily that really it would have been quite a job for that tired, hungry lion to catch even one of them. So he gobbled his stew, but the rabbits filled his bowl again. When he had eaten all he could hold, they heaped his bowl with berries. And when the berries were gone, the tawny, scrawny lion wasn't scrawny anymore. He felt so good and fat and comfortable that he couldn't even move. Here's a fine thing, he said to himself. All these fat little rabbits and I haven't room inside for even one. Here's a fine thing, he said to himself. All these fat little rabbits and I haven't room inside for even one. He looked at all those fine fat little rabbits and wished he'd get hungry again. Mind if I stay a while, he asked. We wouldn't even hear of you going, said the rabbits. Then they plopped themselves down in the lion's lap and began to sing songs. And somehow, even when it was time to say goodnight, the lion wasn't one bit hungry. Home he went, through the soft moonlight, singing softly to himself. He curled up in his bed, patted his sleek, fat tummy, and smiled. When he woke up in the morning, it was Monday. Time to chase monkeys, said the lion. But he wasn't one bit hungry for monkeys. What he wanted was some more of the tasty carrot stew. So off he went to visit the rabbits. On Tuesday, he didn't want kangaroos, and on Wednesday, he didn't want zebras. He wasn't hungry for bears on Thursday, or camels on Friday, or elephants on Saturday. All the big animals were so surprised and happy, they dressed in their best and went to see the fat little rabbit. Rabbit, they said, oh, you wonderful rabbit, what in the world did you talk to Tawny, Scrawny, hungry, terrible lion about? The fat little rabbit jumped up in the air and said, oh my goodness, we had such a good time with the nice, jolly lion that I guess we forgot to talk about anything at all. And before the big animals could say one word, the tawny lion came skipping up the path. He had a basket of berries for the fat rabbit sisters, and a string of fish for the fat rabbit brothers, and a big bunch of daisies for the fat rabbit himself. I came for supper, he said, shaking paws all around. Then he sat down in the soft grass, looking fat as butter, sleek as satin, and jolly as all get out, all ready for another good big supper of carrot stew. The end of The Tawny, Scrawny Lion, a Little Golden Book. Boys and girls, I do not own the rights to this book, but I do love storytelling magic. And you saw what the magic was there, right? He was eating all the animals and they were scared, and along came the rabbit and taught him something new. And he ended up being so happy at the end and solved a problem that was very big in the beginning. See what happens when we work together, boys and girls? We can solve problems. So boys and girls, it is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D, Better Off Reading Every Day. Boys and girls, here's my lion right here. Here's his tail right here. Can you see it? There he is. And boys and girls, I wanted to tell you something. Do you know that lions sleep 13 hours a day? Yes, they do. 13 hours a day. And the female lions, whew, they live up to 14 years. And the male lions up to 8 years. And of course, you know, they have that majestic mane down their back, that majestic mane. And if they live in captivity, which is when they keep them in captivity, they can live up to 20 years. So out in the wild, 14 years for the females and 8 years for the male. But in captivity, where they're kept and taken care of and everything like that, 20 years. And they travel in packs, boys and girls. They travel in packs. And those are the facts that I wanted to give you about lions today. So not only do we love the movie Lion King, yes we do, it's one of my favorite movies, we also love to learn a few things about lions. And I want to show you something. This right here is my blanket. Can you see it? It's a weighted blanket, which means that, look how big it is. Oh, let's do it this way. Oh, can you see it? Isn't that the cutest? There's his little tail right there. So boys and girls, how about I throw my blanket on. Oh, let's do it this way. Let's throw my blanket on. There's my lion right there. And let's do a board twirl with him. Here he is. He's right there on my back. So, you ready? Let's twirl with him. Oh, this is so cozy. There he is. There he is. Twirl, 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 twirl. Twirl. And there he is, boys and girls. There's my lion. What do you think? Do you love him? I know I do. You too can pick up this sweet weighted blanket. Just look it up. You know, we can find everything these days. Just look up lion weighted blanket and you can get one just like this. It is so sweet, boys and girls, and I couldn't wait to show him to you. And of course, now he's going back to bed. So, it is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D, Better Off Reading Every Day. We are all about lions today. And this one was the Tawny, Scrawny lion. Find out what happens when you eat that good stew and hang out with a bunch of rabbits.